Well, my fondest wish has been answered. This is my look of glee. We has update. Oh wait, wasn't I supposed to become sane after the update? I lied! Okay. Let's get semi-serious, childrens, as we talk about the great update. Actually, let's take a look at this update with a tad more sober eye. As if that was possible in my case. But, it seems to me that down near everything on that update, the stuff I've seen before somewhere. Where did I seize that? Oh yeah! Way back in the archive site, remember? Those drawers you would pull open, not with your hands like this, with your mouse, but the drawers would slide open, and the stuff would be in those drawers from each year on Halloween Horror Nights going back to 1991, the Fright Nights, and yeah, that was the site that was part of originally the Sweet 16 site. But there was a lot of other stuff that came up later with more interesting details about the houses, and everything that was in those drawers wasn't necessarily going to be at Halloween Horror Nights Sweet 16, although quite a bit of it was. Now, there are some excitable people with good hearts, and I mean, I'm not wanting. I don't want to insult anybody or sound condescending, so I'm trying to give them, the benefit of the doubt. But there are some very excitable people who probably don't know any better, but they're happy about the update and think, oh my God, this is what Halloween Horror Nights 20 is going to be about. And I believe very little of what we actually see on the website so far is what we are going to have at Halloween Horror Nights 20. Because most of what we see so far is a lovely, nostalgic stroll down memory lane. Memory lane, different street altogether. I think Dolly Parton lives there. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, a lovely stroll down memory lane, and I can tell you, you can go on to, there's a website called horrornights.be, and they have archived the old websites from previous years. If you go look at the 2006 website and you find the page with the drawers, and you'll recognize all the videos, with the exception of the most recent videos, the past couple of years. But those were on the websites since then. There isn't a new bit of video on there. All those little videos, all of those have been seen in previous websites before. And all the little tidbits about, it's even the same picture of the rat lady, and the same picture of the roach guy that had been in the previous website, and all the other little bits and pieces of information. It really doesn't give us anything new. It just goes back over some of the highlights of the past, with one major exception. They have completely removed the face of Bloody Mary. This is rather odd. Her name is mentioned briefly in one spot, but we see the other characters that were there and with Bloody Mary on the page. In fact, if you go back at that same site I mentioned earlier and look at the archived Halloween Horror Nights 2008 website, you'll see the page I'm talking about. It shows King Cole and the, they called it Samhain, but I'm kind of hesitant to call him that. The pan-like goat man from the Hallow, and what was the other one? The pumpkin head, and a couple of others all standing together, and then Mary is there. Okay, but in this picture, they're here, and they've taken the Mary out. They've edited her out of the picture. There's just an empty space where Mary would have been, and it could be because that whole controversial trademark with that Bobby woman, God only knows. We don't know. But again, was it the visual image of Mary or the name Bloody Mary that she had trademarked? And that was a question that was brought up also. So it would seem like if they were going to do that, they would leave the picture and take the name out. So they'd have her image without calling her Bloody Mary would make more sense than taking her out and referencing her. It's rather odd. I mean, the usher isn't that present either, but he is in the video. The video about the Universal Palace Theater. They talk about Julian Browning and how he has come home at last, and they do go into him quite a bit in that, near the end of that little video, which is the same one that was on the website, you know, just a couple months ago before it went down for the teaser site. So we've got all this stuff, but it really isn't anything that tells us what's happening this year, and that's the thing. And and there's some people get really excited, as I said. And, oh, they wouldn't talk about the parade so much if we weren't going to have the parade. Yeah, they talk about Robosaurus a lot, too, on that website. They're not bringing Robosaurus back. They don't own his ass anymore. The guy bought him and took him away. That actually, yeah, a guy bought Robosaurus, and a collector bought him, and it's gone. It's not ever going to come back. You know, you're not going to see a lot of stuff that's in that website ever again. So, just because something's on there like that parade doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's all sorts of serious logistical problems that they can't avoid in order to bring that back. Not that I wouldn't love to see a parade, mind you, but anyway. I'm not anti-parade. I'm just, you know, I just don't see how they could do it. And similar things on there. People are talking about as if it's somehow been confirmed now that they'll have this great reunion, Shadows of the Past Year. The one thing that I think is a clue worth mentioning is on the very front of that website. That's where you should pay attention. There's a lantern. A very mysterious lantern shedding an evil light. You know, it's a very dark, and there's a lantern there. Now, if you happen to be on a mailing list from Universal, you can see a better look at this lantern. And I have a feeling that sometime in the near future, the light from that lantern will glow further, and other things will become visible, perhaps. Remember how completely the website changed from the opening of the theater to what it became after that. So don't think this is the format it's going to be forever. Even though there's little tabs that have coming soon on them. Don't think that's going to be forever. Let me tell you what it says there. From the flickering flames of the lantern's light, eerie shapes begin to take form as horrifying, disturbing images of this year's Halloween Horror Nights will be revealed. They haven't been revealed yet. That's the clue there. Get ready for the ultimate in terror, built upon 19 years worth of ghoulish creatures and nightmarish frights. They built upon the past. It isn't the past resurrected. It's being built upon this foundation, you see. As a new era of darkness begins, of the nation's premier annual Halloween event. Consider those words carefully. They seem to point to something else. Don't think that this is the answer that you've been seeking entirely. This is looking backward. Looking ahead is yet to come.